And here's the deal with the little kids and what's coming up out of underneath those tents in Central Park is they're bringing children up, but the problem is the babies and the children are dying when they get to the top. It has something to do with oxygen, and they're not all dying, but a lot of them are dying, and so it's really hard. They got the tent set up in a certain way, and another thing is that these kids and these babies cannot even be exposed to the sun for a second. They're just dying. It's killing them because they've lived underground in this thing, in the pitch dark down there. And so what I'm told is they're trying to actually get the ventilators down to the children down there, but then there's a problem with electricity because I guess electricity that's a problem, trying to hook all these ventilators. Because they have to almost like start working on the children before they even bring them up.
We're looking to produce over 200,000 ventilators by the end of the year. We've sent many ventilators to Latin America. We've sent many ventilators to different countries in Europe, Africa, and all over the world. We're making thousands of ventilators now a month. We started off with essentially very little, and we've become a ventilator manufacturer, so to speak, and we're helping a lot of countries. We've sent them to France. We've sent them to Italy, a lot to Italy. We've sent them to Mexico. We've sent them to Russia. Moscow's having a tremendous problem. And we've sent them to a lot of different countries, many. And we have a full supply in our country. The amazing thing is we started with very few, and not one person that needed a ventilator did not get a ventilator. So that's a pretty amazing statistic.
There's more tunnels. First of all, there's tunnels being, the U.S. military is going into these tunnels and bunkers all over the country. So just watch the earthquakes. Where you see there's earthquakes, those aren't really earthquakes. They're blowing those domes up. There's more tunnels than is being reported. There's more. The Pentagon Pedophile Task Force, for one, we've located more. There's more. And also coming soon, you're going to learn about probably a great deal of the source of a lot of these babies and children in New York. The problem is what our task force discovered is if we release it, it's a problem. It's being worked out. But if we release it, it's probably going to cause riots. It's unbelievable. It's global, but if I get into the details, we got to work that out. That's coming soon, though. We know how they did this, how they get a lot of these babies and kids and children, and it involves CPS.
Babies, we send the social services to do it, unfortunately. They get the babies from families who can't look after the baby and who don't want the baby.
Really?
Yes.
So that's what I'm going to say for now. Yeah. I just wanted to jump on and let you know that's what's going on. The babies are dying when they get them up. That's what's happening. So they're really, really, really trying. So it's a military operation. Oh, the other thing I was going to tell you is the detractors out there that try to tell you that only the Department of Justice or law enforcement in the United States covers things such as this. They're deceiving you, because here's the deal. The reason the Pentagon Pedophile Task, the reason that the military is involved, and that's where our information goes to military generals. I know their names, folks. These generals that are doing this. I mean, don't let my detractors and those liars buffalo you. This is really happening. The issue, it's jurisdiction. The military absolutely does have jurisdiction on this because we're in a war, and right now President Trump is now the commander-in-chief, as you know, and we are in a war. So we're in a war. He's the commander-in-chief, and the military is executing military actions. They do have jurisdiction under the surface of the earth, even on the continental United States, because that's where the kids are. I mean, think about it, folks. They're not going to send the FBI down into tunnels. These guys are specially trained And even so, there's a war going on. They're killing each other down there. So absolutely pray for our soldiers. And pray for President Trump, pray for Melania, pray for General Milley, and all of our military. I think I'll probably leave it at that so I don't lose this internet connection. And pray for the babies. Right now the numbers fit like 50,000. There's going to be more, I'm told. I'm told there's way more. We're finding more tunnels. Oh, the other thing is all these tunnels, these aren't all tunnels that are necessarily appearing on the maps either. Like the DUMBs appear on the maps mostly. But there's a lot of tunnels that are being found in the more local areas that were created by local governments and that type of thing. In towns, cities, all these freaks set up their own little dungeons underneath their own little town. So there's way more. And this is going to go on for a while. But God bless our military. We're winning. We're winning. President Trump is the commander-in-chief now. The military is answering to him. They know exactly what they're doing. Don't be bullshitted by the liars who are trying to tell you that using words like hope porn and telling you that you're being lied to because somebody's giving you hope. Oh, you can have more than hope. You watch your president. He knows exactly what he's doing. The First Lady knows exactly what she's doing. The generals know exactly what they're doing. And I'm going to leave it at that so I don't lose this connection. God bless you, folks. Let's see. I can't see. This is Timothy Charles Holmesworth with the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. Over and out. Love you. They're bringing babies and children up from underneath the ground where they were being held, captives for crimes against humanity, everything you can think of, sex slaves, adrenochrome production, selling their organs. Some of the kids they're horribly deformed. Their eyes didn't develop. Their ears didn't develop. They've never seen light. I'm not going to get into all the gory details. You can use your own imagination for the horror, but that's what's going on under those tents. You can use your own imagination for the horror, but that's what's going on under those tents in New York.
Yeah, so it's a friend of my mom's. She's a nurse. She's 69 years old. She volunteers. So apparently, she is working in a MASH type unit in Central Park. And I don't know what all the details of what she told my mom. I don't know if it's more than what I've already told you, but she just said the thing with the kids, it's real, and I have to tell you, it's horrible. So horrible. And she said, please, everybody be praying for those children and for the medical people that are...
Dude, I know somebody personally whose girlfriend is a nurse and knows other nurses, and she's in contact with one of the nurses at Central Park, and they say they're just rescuing kids that are severely screwed up, like they're sex slaves from birth kind of situation. Some of them are deformed. But she's 100% sure that she trusts her friend, and I know her personally, so it's not like fourth-hand information. It is second-hand. But she says the rescue operation has begun, and that's maybe probably what the ships are for.
That's close, very, very close to the dumb entrance. Mm-hmm. So when they bring the kids up, they can in dark. They can put them in a tent where it's dark, because they can't stand the light of day, because a lot of them have never been in the light of day. Mm-hmm. And some are genetically engineered, and most of those, when they brought them up, died. And that's that big, huge mass grave that's being seen on a lot of Twitter posts now today.
Somebody saying, Jennifer's asking, Gene, please explain why kids die when brought up.
So if the child or a person is born down there in the dark, and they're essentially just a slave or a tool, and they get, brutalized every day, and they're very fragile in the first place. And they've never been in the light of day. And I've experienced this somewhat myself when we go to sea in a submarine, and I've been out as long as 123 days straight. And when we surface, my eyes can't take the light of day, and I sunburn within minutes. Like 15, 20 minutes, I get really, really bad sunburn. And so you can't take broad daylight like that. You have to adjust to it slowly. And if you've never been in bright daylight, your eyes don't have the ability to dilate enough down to be able to take that sunlight, and your skin has never developed the melatonin in the skin the melanin in the skin to take sunlight. That's why you see with animals in caves where they become albino after a few generations, because the bodies don't make the melanin anymore and don't need to. And if you don't need something, that's why their eyes eventually completely go away. They don't even see them anymore because it's dark down there. There's no use to have them. So, the body is made differently to be adapted to that type of environment. So that's the same going on here. Some of these kids are fifth generation. They've been taking kids since the 40s. So if you say every 20 years is a generation, you have the 40s, the 60s, the 80s, 2000, and now we're going to 2020. You have fifth generation down there that were born down there. 4 generations have been born down there. From kids taken back in the 40s, had children, and then they had grandchildren, and they had great-grandchildren, and those had great-great-grandchildren. So, I mean, you're literally starting to adapt the people down there to being in the dark all the time. And this is a picture of one of the kids with some kind of odd hand-like thing.
Yeah, that does not look like a regular hand, does it?
No.
It doesn't look like a regular ear either.
No.
Interesting. So they wait until dark because, like you said, they learned a lot when they rescued the kids from California, where they bring up in the light, and many of them didn't survive, right?
Yeah, they lost 10% within the first week. That's the same picture there. Yeah, just circling and showing you specifics here.
I know, sure that what they're pointing at there.
They're saying that there's something that's part of the person that's way far away from where a person's head would normally be able to extend. So how can this person's side of their face or head be that far over?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, they do disgusting things to create this, things that should never be done.
Okay, let's go back to this picture real quick. Now, I do agree with everything that Gene had to say about this. This is clearly a child. He is apparently mutated, but as far as the appendage above his head, this is another possibility. It could be a hand. Not that I agree with the anatomy of this drawing, but it is another theory, another possibility.
I'm just another normal day in the shed doing dental cleaning on a pale, hairless person. Hands look odd as well.
So again, if somebody had the virus, maybe they can't clean their teeth for a few days, but if you've been a slave, an ultra slave, they don't care about your teeth. Quite often they need thousands of dollars. So if they're reasonably new, their teeth will still be in bad shape, and they're cleaning the teeth and things to help get the teeth healthy and save them. And this is some of the guys suggesting what some of the hybrid stuff they might have been finding down there.
I think that's Tony Podesta art.
Oh, yeah. That's just something you really want in your house, isn't it?
Okay, if you want to know what kind of sick things these people are doing, look no further than Tony Podesta's art. This reveals a lot about them. It reveals a lot about what they're doing. It's sick. But it also might possibly show us glimpses of what the mutated children may look like underground. Possibilities, maybe these are inspired by them, perhaps, in a very sick, twisted, sort of celebrated way. The forming of the monster with the child, and it's very revealing. Very revealing.